projects. It's just if it's something that can help people get free, that's what I'm all about. So I'm not pushing nothing in particular. I don't really look at myself like as being a part of a company. Like I'm my own company. So if I can use it as a vehicle to help somebody else, that's kind of like more what I'm focused on.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's really where it is in business, because it's like when you first get into like these companies, it's like, and you can tell when there's like people that's like brand new, right? So they get on, yeah, that's right. You got a brand new ink. You know what I'm saying? That's that good MLSP trainer right there. But it's like when you get in, and it's like my sponsor told me, he was like, okay, put it in your banner, right? Worst advice ever. Because like nobody was responding, but he would do it, and he was getting results. And it's like I didn't understand. It's like he had like a certain influence. Like there's certain things that a leader can do that when you're brand new and you only know your friends and family, it's not going to work for you, right? And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and just give y'all this tip right here. So this is what you want to do when you get leads. You want to put them in a place where they get to interact with you, get to interact with your content. That could be a Facebook group, a community, because let me tell you what's going to happen. After you give them so much value, right? They're going to start, like, if you ask them to do something, you're going to start seeing them being responsive, which is different than like you just had an email list. Like, unless you have like your hot buyers on your email list, they're not going to be that responsive. People are not going to open up your emails. You'll be like, man, you got the best headline. You worked on all this. And like, man, these people ain't open up. These people ain't buying. Like, what's going on? But if you take your people and really get them, not just to connect with you on like a Facebook group, right? You know, like the first time you might bring them on, you might want to bring them up on that Facebook Messenger chat, right? You know, because that's powerful. They get to hear your voice and like, oh, man, it's a real person, you know, or even just jumping on the phone with them. You know, those are different things that they can interact with. But for me, what I realized of putting them in a community or even just making a site where it's just like all your content, all your videos, when they watch and they come back, they're like, wow, like they think of you as a guru because you're helping them with their problems. And that's the main thing. Like, just focus on value. Don't think about who's going to buy your product and stuff, because you should already be at the point that you know what your product is and who it serves. Mm-hmm. And just really go out into the marketplace and looking for people that you can help, right? Opposed to you like, who can I sell my stuff to today?
In the beginning, you can really focus more on building depth because you don't have that big following. You don't have all these people to worry about. So you can individually take people and build a deeper, connection with them and really give them a lot more value doing it that way.
Definitely. I definitely agree. How are you engaging? Because I see you be throwing the videos out, but Gavin, like all the time.
Yeah, I on my 60-day video challenge, man. And the same thing you said, right? You need to direct everybody to somewhere where they're going to get to know you. So a lot of these people that I'm meeting through Facebook ads, right? I redirect them and always tell them, hey, add me up so that I could plug you into this group. So I actually have a prospect group for my business as well. So while they're on my main page, right, they're seeing me talking, speaking value every day. And especially with this 60-day video challenge, I feel as though, they're getting to know me a little more. And I get a lot of people coming back to me and saying, hey, man, tell me about this business again, And it happens over like a little 2-3 weeks, maybe a month sometimes. But the point is they're there through the journey, right? They're getting to know me a little more. And as you said, when you go to ask for the sale or ask them to join, they come running. The only sad part about it is that here in the Caribbean, we got a very low penetration rate when it comes to credit cards and stuff. So I could have had a lot more signups if not for that issue, man. But it is what it is. Just working with it.
This is a tip right here. You can actually target some other people that just love to travel to the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
let me tell you why. Because Americans love to hear Caribbean accent. They'll go crazy. They're like, "Oh, where you from?" That's what I'm telling you. Go start targeting some people that, and let me tell you, I'm just gonna give you a little tip right here. Facebook ads is so targeted. You can find people who just traveled a week, 2 weeks ago, people that have 9 lines of credit, people who just bought, people who spend a lot of money. I mean, that's how targeted it is. You know, so it's so much more. You see, once you get in the power edit, it's different than if you're just doing a boost post. But a boost post strategy work. It is the truth.
I'm killing that. You know I'm killing that. I mean, when they see like I reached 10,000 people for $4, I'm like, man, I have no complaints.
But you know what? That's amazing because you using Caribbean money, ain't you?
Huh?
Yeah.
But the US straight. So I mean, it just goes a long way. And all I need is one sign up. I mean, it's big time.
You know, and that's the thing about depending on what type of opportunity, because like I have a formula that I use where you just really have to know your numbers. So you really have to know how much your commission is and how much people you need to bring that's going to convert into leads. Definitely. Right. If you don't know that basis, like how many people are going to hit your capture page, and out of those people, how many are going to become leads, you know, and then it's like if you find that you're having leads, but they're not converting, you need to find a way to, you know, up those conversions. What are you going to have to do to interact with them that's going to get them to like feel like they know, like, and trust you, you know? So there's always things you can do. You know, definitely webinars, but this platform right here, listen, guys, I'm telling you, you can bring your prospects on this sucker right here. Definitely, there's a video that I was watching.
Team training too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
How many people it maxes out? It maxes out that?
Okay, so this is how it is set up. You can only bring 4 people at a time, but you can interchange your people. Mm-hmm. So that's the cool thing. You see, like what you have.
Audience. In terms of the audience.
So like, however much, you know, you got people like Gary Vaynerchuk, these big time. I mean, a lot of people.
All right.
So it's like a webinar, but you're not limited. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's free. That's the part. That's what it is. Yeah. You know, so it's like I got on yesterday for the first time, and I was like, "What?" I saw this. It was like, and it's new. I was like, "Okay." Everybody else was on Periscope. I can't. My phone won't get me on Periscope. I'm like, I'm getting on this. So me and Brandon was on the phone for like hours discussing like strategy, how we gonna go about doing this. And you know, I was just buckled down. I was like, "Look, I'm gonna knock it out." I was just hitting people up in the instant message, you know, in the chat, just like, "Hey, I'm throwing a webinar. Who's coming?" Yeah, I like this format too, Valera. This nice format.
It is.
It's nice.
So I'm gonna prime you, Mr. William Rapp. Yeah, okay. So I know you be doing that Craigslist strategy. What is up with getting people in for free? Getting free leads and just like convert, because I've seen some of your conversions. It's like 49%. I mean, 50%. Like, what is this potion that you got going on?
Definitely. You know, it really starts with a mindset shift. And what I see a lot of people do is they approach Craigslist as a marketer versus a person who can employ a job seeker. So what they do is they go on there and they kind of like put their ad up or whatever, and the ad is more geared towards, you know, make money from home or work from home and all that kind of stuff, versus saying, okay, I'm a boss. I have an opportunity to, you know, exactly. I'm a boss. I can, you know, hire people. I can give them an opportunity and basically have a funnel set up to where by the time they call you, they've already pre-qualified themselves, right? So basically how that looks is, well, what I do is I'll put the ad up. So, and it also depends on what you're promoting as well too. So I'm in something where I can legitimately hire them, right? Because it's a high ticket thing. Mm-hmm. So I can legitimately interview them as if I was an employer, talk to them as if I'm offering them a job, and then give them 3 options to choose from. So I could say, look, you can join on under me and you can earn $1,000 commission. I'll pay you per sale. Or, I have this, what I call the franchise business model, where then they can come in. And so what I actually do is, because I make up to $5,000 commission, I will basically let them pay me a monthly fee of like $500, and then I'll pay them 100% commission off of the membership. Or they can actually just join themselves, and then basically they can, I'll teach them the strategy, and they can kind of do whatever they need to do. So that's kind of how I approach it. And I just get them to send in resumes. And then I have a funnel set up to where basically when somebody sends in a resume, I have a Google autoresponder, which automatically sends them a message like, hey, we just saw your interview, we just saw your resume. We'd love to talk to you about further employment, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. And then what happens is they get sent the video, which explains to them like what we sell, how we do it, whatever. But it still feels like, I call it like a group interview. So it still feels like they're going through an interview process. And then after they watch the video, like this link will appear, they click on that, and then they can fill out an application to speak to one of our executives.
Wow, that's so powerful right there.
On the phone, and then we close them.
Let me tell you why that is so powerful. So this is me and Brandon. We work together. We're on like some of the same masterminds, right? And this was something we learned a couple of weeks ago, where you can literally, instead of closing your prospects yourself, you get your friend, and you vice versa. You exchange. So if they have leads, close the prospects for them, right? And vice versa, because it gives an impression that they don't have direct access to you.
Right.
It don't matter if that's your only lead.
Right.
The impression, because you really have to come to a place of positioning. You need to have some posture, because they already don't know you. Right. And you want to give that impression like this person's up here, and I need to have what they have, because it's really a mindset. Like my brand is the authority takeover, and like my viewpoint when it comes to authority is really, it's an illusion. Because in the person's eye, you can be that guru to them.
Yeah.
So it really is a point of however they view you, that's what you are. It doesn't matter if it's an element of truth or not. So that's why it's important to go to like events. So you can go to an event and, take a picture. Like Brandon was at that MLSP event that Live the Dream. So he had an opportunity to meet a lot of people in the industry that's like more higher up that he would have never met, like just staying in Houston, right?
Yeah.
And so when people who know these people in the industry, they're like, what? Rob Four? Like, oh, let me hit you up. You must be a cool dude.
Yeah, it's that credibility.
Yeah, and that's what it boosts, because it's like, you got to think about it. Most of these other people at MLMs, what are they doing? They're at home. They're just trying to do everything on the internet. They're not going out. They're not branding themselves. So it's like, you have to do something a little bit different so that you can stand in the marketplace. So when people come across your page, when they come across your content, they're like, this person's different. I want to work with this person, like right here. I don't know what it is, but I think this person can help.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's where my business started to change was when I started learning psychology, like basic psychology, and injecting that into everything that I do. And there's so much, like, when a person's first come into this industry, they don't know what they don't know, right? So it's like your upline telling you to do this, do this, do this, do this, but your upline is not telling you about the psychology about why it works for them, right? And there's something called that every human has called a cognitive bias, meaning that we all have a certain way that we perceive a person or perceive people, right? Like we all, like if you see a doctor, you're going to address that doctor different than you would address your cousin down the street, right? That's called a cognitive bias. So what happens is when you're marketing, you've got to frame your entire marketing around the perception of what this prospect is going to like actually be looking for or feel that can take them to the next level. And so once I started understanding that, you know, I realized that it wasn't about like trying to be somebody that you're not or trying to pretend like you have a bigger brand or whatever, but it was more about understanding that there's billions of people online who tomorrow will come online and want to do internet marketing. So, or network marketing or whatever. So if you just decide in yourself that I'm a leader, all you got to go do is learn one strategy, and that person that's starting next Monday, you can teach, you're a guru to them because you know more than what they know. And so I think a lot of times people, when they first get in this business, they get stuck in this like, I'm a newbie, I'm new, I don't know what to do, blah, 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 blah. But really, you know, what a guru does is they take a person from a low level of productivity to a higher level of productivity. That's how you have to look at authority, right? If you can take a person from a lower level of productivity to a higher level of productivity, you can monetize that. And that's basically what I've been doing. You know, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars like doing that. I mean, just because I don't get stuck in the mindset of like, all right, I'm a rep or I'm a distributor or I'm a affiliate marketer. No, it's like I treat myself as if this is a craft. And my craft is to take people from a lower level of productivity to a higher level of productivity. So I don't know if that helps anybody, but I got to think about it.
That was a big nugget. That was a big nugget.
Go ahead and give this man some props, y'all. That's like super knowledge.
Yeah. You know, and also too, you know, I can add to that you touched on something really, really important. When most of us come into this game, we're running from something. Like, you know, I mean, let's just keep it all the way real. We're trying to avoid some type of pain, some type of discomfort, bill, you know, debt, whatever it is. We're running from something. That's why most people come into this industry. Yeah. So if you understand the mindset of how you came into the industry and how we all basically come into this industry, then it doesn't matter if you're selling a pill, a coin, leads, whatever, right? You speak to that mindset and you show that prospect how they can immediately overcome that thing that they're running from versus trying to sell them on getting leads and prospects and coins and all that stuff. You will immediately position yourself as an authority because what they're going to say is, wow, this person actually knows what I'm trying to get away from and what I'm trying to move towards. And basic psychology is every human is trying to move away from pain and closer to pleasure. So all you have to do is understand what pain is my avatar trying to move from, and then how can my product be a conduit or a vehicle to help them move away from that pain, and then it's easy to sell.
The antidote.
So I'm gonna probe a little bit, okay? Because that was almost like it could be a little.
I'm about to go ahead and get my notepad.
So, this is a real life example of how instead of just saying, hey, I got leads, and you know, a lot of people like, okay, I got 10 leads a day, and I can show you how to get it. How would you set that up?
Gotcha.
Like a capture page or something that's going to be attractive to the pain, that you really talk to the pain that they're having.
Right. So I consult a lot of marketers and especially like newer people who are first getting in, who want to like get to 6 figures or whatever. And what the industry sells you on is that a tactic will make you money. So capture pages and autoresponders are tactics, but any business person knows strategy is what makes you money, not tactics. You can put up capture pages to your blue in the face, but have no influence, no authority with these leads, and they won't respond at all. Okay, so that's kind of the first thing you got to understand. So then you have to understand, just like I said, basic psychology. So the way I use it is I say, okay, I know every single human, everybody on this call, everybody in the world is only motivated by 3 things. Just 3 basic things make you take action. Okay, so that's the foundation. And that's power, affiliation, and achievement. Okay, so if you take that as your foundation for everything that you do, then when you set up your capture page, if you have a lead generation program, or let's just use weight loss. Let's say you're in a weight loss company. I'll just use that as an example. Instead of running out talking about my company's been around since 1945 and we got this berry and this juice and the founders and this is ground floor and you can get in now and make all this money, that just breeds skepticism. Like nobody believes that anymore, right? Like
it's rap.
Yeah, like it just sounds like a little sketchy, right? But what if you get on there and you deal with the 3 basic primal human needs? Because every human is motivated by a primal need, meaning that we have something that gets us up every day that puts us into action. So with marketing, you just get on the flow of that. So if I'm in a weight loss company, I know that my prospect that would be good for this product feels disempowered because of their weight. They don't care about the company or the leadership or whatever. They feel, when they look in the mirror, they feel disempowered. And that's actually preventing them from, dressing different, from going to work with confidence to get a raise. It's actually affecting their entire life. So what if you create a capture page and you say something like, and then you always want to first connect with them. You can say, you know what? Hi, my name is William Rapp, and I lost 30 pounds by, leveraging this pill. But let me tell you my story. When I first, decided I want to lose weight, I felt like I didn't have confidence. I felt ashamed to look in the mirror. I felt like my wife didn't love me as much as she did when we were 21. I felt all these emotions that made me feel like I was losing my power. I felt like I couldn't achieve the things that I wanted in life, and therefore I couldn't affiliate around people who I knew were on my level because of my insecurities. Then once I found X, Y, and Z company, I was able to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. I was able to get my confidence back, and now my life is wonderful. So if you want to learn the 7 secrets for how I lost 30 pounds in 30 days, got my power back, was able to achieve my dreams, then enter your name and email address. That's a completely different marketing piece than the company's been, all that other stuff.
You know what? And it's crazy because I actually do work with some people that's in health and wellness. And so it's like those people that I work with, it's crazy. And everybody probably knows who this company is, but it's like, they're like all over Facebook, right? And it's crazy because I would have people that, they'll see me, they'll see my marketing, and I see that they need help. And it's like, you give them some advice, but it's like, you go back on their Facebook and you're like, what are they talking about? Like, you're still doing
the same thing.
Work 2 months ago, and you just blasted, oh, my friends and family's not supporting me. And you're like, okay, I'm going to rebrand my company. And I'm starting this, like, you got 2 likes. Nobody cares. Like, you really have to just like brand you. And it's like, I try to really drill that into my people. Like, especially if you're in health and wellness, if you're using a product, do some videos, work out, whatever it is, that's your lifestyle. Like, you should be about your product. Don't try to sell something just for the money, especially if you don't love it, because you're going to like quickly find out that it's going to be gone. Either you're going to recruit people and they don't know how to get leads or sales. They're not getting results and they don't see the vision and they're going to leave. Like, it really boils down to the vision that you bring onto somebody else, because really what you're painting in their mind is that vision. Like, what are they going to get? What's the end result? Like, sometimes it shouldn't always be like, oh, you're going to make 6 figures, because everybody may not want to make 6 figures. Like, freedom, you have to really know what that person is looking for, because freedom for somebody might be, look, I just want to stay at home with my kid. And it's like, I was talking to somebody, I think I talked to you about it, Brandon, where it's like, if you notice, like, guys, when they do marketing, their lifestyle marketing might be like fancy cars, but that doesn't appeal to women the same way. Like, lifestyle for women might be, hey, I get to stay at home with my kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's different type of lifestyle. You know, so you have to really understand who you're talking to, right? Definitely know what they want, what they need. Find that out first, you know, so you can be able to help them.
That's so true, because I was actually sharing a similar notion to my team. I was telling them, like, there's 3 main things that people want to know when you connect with them, right? So it's like, you gotta find out what it is they want, why they even want it, right? So you can't just say, well, like, yeah, I want to make money, or I want to leave my job. Why? And after you, you collect that data, is then the third thing. Are you ready to let me help you? You know, I have, you know, you basically take whatever opportunity it is you have, or you customize it to, you know, to meet their needs, right? And provide the solution, because that's all we're doing. We're the problem solvers, right? So, yeah. There's the main 3 things they're trying to get through to my team, man. But as you say, you know, some people just, when you go back and look on certain persons, you know, Facebook page, it's like they're doing the complete opposite of what you just told them.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why they're not getting results.
You know, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, man, I can't believe this. And I just like, I had to leave it alone, because some people, you know, this is my observation in the industry, right? Some people will join a company and they'll stay in 3 months committed, right? It's like when it gets to that 3rd month and they still haven't gotten results, it's like a thing go off, that pain meter. It's like, man, like, I need to get maybe another company or whatever. Something goes off in their head. And it's like, they'll go back to that same training, that advice level. Let me try something else. But it's like
shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, because they see other people doing the strategies. Like I said, they're not understanding its influence. Like, I'll see a leader will post something, right? But I'll tell you what I noticed with leaders. So a leader, they might use graphics. They might have a call, but it's like nice. You know, they're in a suit. You know, there's other leaders next to them. The graphics is clean. And so you have to realize, when you're promoting, you say, join my business opportunity, it's not sexy, right? Because that's not what the leader is doing. They're talking about, I'm having a call, and they talk in vision. So they're like, I want to help 100 families this year.
Right.
That's completely different. Because you're like, I'm just looking for 10 people to join my opportunity right now. Who's with me? And you got 1 like.
Well, you know, it's funny, because there's a subtle distinction in what leaders do and what a lot of new people do. And it has nothing to do with being new. It's just, you don't know what you don't know. I mean, you know, that's basically what it comes down to. But what I teach a lot of my coaching clients is, it doesn't matter what opportunity you're in, you have to learn how to turn that opportunity into a solution. Like, you have to frame it as an actual solution. Because again, we're all trying to escape something, and we're trying to get a solution to something. And if you really want to close people at a higher level, I learned that every single prospect has this ideal solution in their mind. And the crazy part is, it's irrational. It's like, I want to work online, I want to push a button, and I literally want my computer to spit out $100 bills. That's how people actually think about coming online. Like, that's in their brain. They actually visualize that. Like, I don't want to do no work. I want to push a button when I wake up, and I want hundreds just to come. And I want to post the pictures on Facebook and I want to walk across stage. Right? So that's how they actually think. So as a marketer, what you have to do is you have to take that mindset that what I call the customer avatar wants, and you have to project that out into the real world and make your product almost identical to that thing that they want. Right? So it doesn't matter what you're selling because it's a solution. So you could be selling, again, a weight loss product or a coin, and in the marketing, you've got to use that language that's in their head. And then when they see that, they're like, man, that vision pops up and they're like, that's exactly what I want. Like, I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be doing that, but I do want to do this. I do want to do that. And then from there, you kind of take that and then you kind of lead with that as kind of like your lead magnet to like attract the people. And that's how I start all my marketing pieces out is I start out by thinking, okay, what's the perfect scenario for this person who's trying to make it in this industry? Now, my company doesn't matter. Like my product, none of that matters because the buying decision is made off an emotional impulse of me trying to escape those bills or get away from that boss that's yelling at me or whatever it is. That's what you have to speak to in the marketing and then show them how your product, your brand can basically be what I call the conduit to that. So it's just another way of thinking about it.
And you know what? That's really true. Somebody else had a question? Somebody was going to say something? Was that you, Gavin?
I was just saying that's true.
Yeah, because it's like when you really think about it, when people join, the reason why they get excited, like, okay, so I'm going to tell you a real life story. So my mom is getting wooed by these people at Primerica, right? So, like, I'm like, no, don't do it, Mom. You need to go build a list. And she's like really gung ho, right? Because I know one thing. After you get a couple exposures, you keep going to the meeting, you know, they're going to bring their top people out. So it's like she's getting wooed. I'm like, oh, man, Mommy, don't do it. Please don't do it. Like, you really need to go build a list. And it's like when people go to those events, they get hyped up. I know for me, like, I don't care what business opportunity. I don't care if it's an online thing. I don't get hyped off of nothing. Because it's like real world, real talk. I don't care how good your opportunity is. There are going to be some type of problem. Somebody ain't getting paid on time. You know, something is going to go wrong. That's just real talk, right? And so because I've been in, I think it's like 2-3 years now, right? I've seen a lot. And I've seen companies go down like this. Like nobody knew what was going to happen. And it just gone overnight. People lost commissions. So it's like after even feeling the brunt of that, I can't get hyped over companies no more. Like you really have to come to a point where you brand yourself and you're coming from a position like, who can I help? You know, because the company by itself is nothing. Because let's say you don't want to be with this company no more. Let's say they stop paying you. You want to be able to take your list, your people, and like, look, this is what I'm doing. Just brand you. That's really what you have to come to a point of. You know, you really have to have that vision that this is what I'm doing. Like, but this is just a vehicle that I'm using. This not who I am. Like, I'm not a distributor. You know, I'm not a rep. Because when you look at yourself as a rep, you're just like really like a glorified salesman, you know, and that's not who wants to be in that position. Glorified salesmen, right? Don't become the leaders of Best Buy. Glorified salesmen don't sell the most cars. You see what I'm saying? Really, the mindset that you have, like, I'm a boss, like, and I'm taking over. Like, if you look at people that work a 9 to 5, right? And the people that really want to get to the top, they have this mindset like, I'm going to work 80 hours a week if I have to.
Yeah.
Those are the people that get to the top and they don't complain about it. They don't complain about it. Those are the people that get to the top. Like when I was working a job, right? I remember this book that I read, and I think it was Brian Tracy, and it talks about the law of overcompensation. And if you're working a job, I'm telling you, this law is like something you really should implement. So the average person thinks to themselves, right? if I'm going to get paid more, I'm just going to wait until they give me the promotion and I'm going to get paid more, right? But the law of overcompensation really states this, that if you want to get paid more, start doing more now, and then you eventually get paid more for what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was taking this job, and listen, it was like a sign holding job, right? And what I asked myself, I was like, how can I get my my boss more traffic? And this was like for a gold and jewelry store. So I hustled, you know, so I did what I had to do. It wasn't a job that I loved to do, but I literally got on the internet and I saw that there were sign holders, they were flipping signs. And I'm like, look, I don't know how to flip no signs, but I'm from the Caribbean, I could dance, right? So they gave me this like pink cowboy rhinestone hat, right? And I was having this music in my ear and I was going at it. I did whatever I had to do. So when they started me off, it was like $250, right? And I had brought my homeboy on, and he's like holding the sign, just doing that. They felt so compelled because people would come in to the store like, yo, your girl out there, she just, you know, I don't even want to buy nothing, but I'm going to come in just because she's out there with her enthusiasm. People come by giving me tips like, man, you're out here every day.
Yeah.
The average person mindset is not going to get compliments for what they do. The average person mindset is they're not 10Xing. They're not going to see more pay. Like the people that I was working with knew that I was getting more than that. They just didn't know how much, because the difference between me and them, it was apparent. Like I was the only girl that was there and I was dancing and they was just standing there. So they had to pay me more. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you have to come to a point where you're 10X in your business. Like you're going all out. Like if you're going to give value, I don't care if you're giving free value or if they're paying $1,000 worth of coaching. Go all out. Definitely.
Period.
Real talk. Real talk. And you know, I think a lot of people, when you say branding, because I get this so much, like people think branding is like a graphic, like it's like a it's like a, let me put my picture up there, get something on Fiverr. All right, I got a brand, and that's not a brand. Like a brand is a positioning, and it's a certain posture that you have with a very specific prospect or a very specific avatar. And like you were saying, brands, it's about a vision. It's about you forecasting a vision for your prospects to achieve, to go for. It's like when you see Kobe in a Nike commercial, the brand is the vision of being Kobe. It's not the Nike shoes or anything like that. It's giving the people watching the commercial a frame of reference to strive for. And then that ability to get them to strive for it is what gets them to reach out to you and say, hey, I've been watching what you're doing. How do I get that? Right? So the brand actually, if you do it correctly, will elicit a response based on the vision that you've casted for the prospects. And what I've learned too is that, especially if you're dealing with like home-based business owners or job seekers or people who are still out of a job and things like this, eventually they're going to get, if you're consistent, they're going to get fed up with working. Like if they see your brand every single day and you're posting stuff and you're inspiring them and you're living this lifestyle, I ain't even talking about driving Bentleys and all that. I'm just talking about you're free. Right. Their boss is going to say the wrong thing to them one day. They're going to be on their phone watching your video and be like, you know what? They're going to look at their phone. They're going to look at the boss and be like, man, I'm going to contact this dude because I got to get up out of here. That's how the process works. So your brand actually is that vision for, you know, that prospect that comes in. They may not make a move on the first day or the second day or the third day or the fourth day, but as you're consistently creating a vision for them to self-actualize, to become their higher self, eventually they will reach out to you and say, you know what, this boss over here, I'm just not really cool. I'm not dealing with this no more. What you got to offer, man? What you got to offer? That's how you convert prospects.
Just take my credit card, man. Just take my credit card.
Here, man. Like, I'm tired of this boss over here. Especially if you're creating videos and marketing that speaks to that pain of what it used to be like for you, versus like, hey man, buy my pill, buy my this, blah, blah, blah. But you're like, man, I know what it's like to be at 12 o'clock and as a grown man with, you know, kids who pays taxes, you got to raise your hand to go to the bathroom. I know what that's like. And honestly, I know what it feels like to want to avoid that. And through this system that I'm going to show you, I can show you how I did it. That's like so much more like real, and so much, it just hits way closer to home than you just being in front of a car with money everywhere. And then they're like looking at you like, people don't even believe that anyway. I mean, even if it is yours, people ain't gonna believe. I mean, we see it so much, it's kind of almost hard to believe like that's really that person's anyway. Because people with money don't do that. So it's like
into that marketing.
Yeah, it's like, man, I can't get with that.
Yeah, people got money in their mouth. I'd be like, when I go to some people's profile, it's like, you know, you can choose who you want to do business with, and I'm like, nah, I don't even want to deal with these people right here, because I know we're not going to be talking the same level. We're not even on the close same wavelength, you know. For real. Like, I see it, I'm like, oh my goodness, especially on my Instagram, like, you know, all them other reps. I'm not even gonna name them, but you know who I'm talking about. Just money. For real. That's funny, man. But that's really an interesting way to put it, because when you're really talking to someone's pain, you know, a lot of times we're taught, you know, hey, you know, if they lost 20 pounds in a particular time, that's the pain and that's what you put up. People don't really focus on really the conversation going on inside their heads. You know, like, what is a real motivating factor? Like, we know that people who watch The Biggest Loser would probably be more interested in something weight loss because they're actively watching the show. But how motivated are they is a whole different story, because some people watch a lot of infomercials but don't take no actions either.
No, it's true. It's, you know, I use this marketing formula anytime I write ads or posts or whatever. It's basically pain plus urgency plus irrational passion plus few or no perceived options. And the reason why is because, like you said, a lot of people put out capture pages, but they're casting their net too wide. So you're getting the window shoppers, you're getting the tire kickers, you're getting all the people who are just on the fence, kind of not really thinking about doing anything, because your ad copy didn't speak directly to that pain that a person is urgently looking. And so I give this analogy to my clients, is that, you know, when you get a toothache, and humans are just naturally procrastinators. Like, we just procrastinate. That's just who we are. And so, like, when you get a toothache, your first idea 9 times out of 10 is not, I'm going to go to the dentist and get this fixed. Your first mindset is, let me get some Oragel, or let me get something, let me take some antibiotics or some type of Advil or something just to stop the pain so I can keep going, right? So then we do all that, we keep going, and then maybe like 3 weeks later, it's throbbing now. And those pills, those antibiotics, the things that we're taking, is not working. And then one day you wake up and that cold air hits it, and it hits that nerve, and you're like, like, you feel like you're gonna die. And now you get up out of your seat and you rush to the internet and you just typing in dentists, doctors, whatever, and you're like, look, I'll pay whatever I need to pay. I need to see somebody today. Now, that prospect, when they get to that point, is a hotter prospect than the person who's just putting on the Oragel, right? So these are two different leads that we're talking about here. So when you're marketing, you can either attract the prospect who just kind of has a little pain, but they got the Oragel in there. It's not really, you know, they got money coming in, they're not really trying to do nothing, they just checking things out, or the person who's like, yo, this tooth needs to come out today, I don't care what it costs, I don't really got no questions either. Here's my credit card, sign me up, I got to get out this job.
Okay,
and
so
I find when you can find those prospects, you have a higher closing rate, smoother, you can sell high tickets. It's just a whole nother world. So
okay,
it's important.
Question: do you have to basically speak to that person's emotion to basically have that prospect raise their hand and say, yes, this is my pain, I want what you have?
Yeah, so again, I'm always going for that formula, pain plus urgency. If there's no pain plus urgency, there might just be pain, but they can deal with it. It's not urgent that they get out of their job. It's not urgent that they pay off that credit card bill. It's not urgent that, they pay their bills on time. That's not urgent. Now, when it's urgent, it's like, look, I'm ready to make an action step right now. So they come predisposed, pre-sold, not because of your company, but because of their state, because of where they are mentally already, and you've attracted them. So a lot of times when people come coaching with me, they're like, yeah, man, I'm getting all these leads, I'm getting all these people, but nobody's buying. And they're not buying because you're not attracting buyers. You're attracting people who are still in the development process of that tooth, and the air is not affecting them. So you've got to change the copy of whatever modality you used to brought them in and speak directly to that person, so the ad, instead of it saying, hey, join my company, make some extra money on the side, you need to say, I'm looking to work with people who need to make $1,000 in the next 30 days because of X, Y, and Z.
Oh,
you see what I mean? Like that's a different prospect than, hey, I'm looking to join the next 10 people to get into my business for whatever. Then you got everybody inquiring, asking questions, wasting your time. But if you're like, yo, if you need to make $1,000 in the next 30 days, I only want to speak to you. If that's not you, don't opt in. Don't watch the video. Just go over there because this is not for you. Now, when you get those prospects on the phone, you can literally say to them, hey, so you opted in because you said you needed to earn $1,000 in the next 30 days. Is that correct? What are they going to say? No. Right. You know what I mean? Now it's a whole nother conversation. But you can't do that if your marketing is just general, broad, everybody. So,
wow. That's crazy because it's like you're really, really calling it out. Because it's like, okay, when you're using search, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody knows search traffic is like, you're going to find people that's going to be kind of looking, but it's still targeted because this is what the person's thinking that they're typing in their head. Right. But because somebody's searching for it, doesn't mean that they're really, really motivated. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, you get onto Google and it's already suggesting something to you, right? So a person in their mindset, right? If they only know it's possible to make, let's say, $100 a day, or maybe even $50 a day, because it's like there's people with different mindsets, right? So they're going to type in 50, right? But when somebody knows it's possible to make, $5,000 on a webinar and plus, that person's going to type in something different. But again, it might be just curiosity opposed to like hunger. Like, I need to find this now. It's different. So it's like what we're really taught. Like, I've seen people do like Bing ads and stuff like that. And they're like, okay, take this little investment and make, thousands. That's what you usually see. Mm-hmm. But even then, when you have those people, they're still not taking the correct action. It's not swift action. When you use those type of capture pages, when you use that type of copy. So it's like, it is very interesting, your whole perspective, because now you're like delving in there like, look, this ain't gonna be for you, bro. Just go ahead, click off. Like,
and you could say that in the video. Like I actually say that in some of my videos. I'll say, if you're not looking to make $500 next week, I'm not for you. I'm looking for the person who needs this right now. So with search traffic, you're right. I like to look at it like keywords are mindsets. So I can literally, if somebody's typing in, I need more leads, I'm not looking at it from a perspective of they need more leads. I'm looking at the result of those leads. And that's what I speak to. So on my capture page, they might pull up under something that says, I need leads. When they get there, I might say, are you looking for leads to get 25 new distributors in the next 6 months? Or are you looking for leads to pay off your credit card bills? You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking to the result of the result. And that's when you get advanced with marketing, is when you stop understanding that nobody wants leads. Like, nobody wants that. What they really want is the outcome that leads provides. So why people, when they first start out, lose deals and lose business to other people is because you're talking to leads and this person's dealing with real life situations that another marketer is talking to and is persuading them that they can basically help them get away from that pain. And if you just take that one thing and switch your marketing around and everything, I'm telling you, it'll be like a world of difference when it comes to who you talk to, what type of leads you're getting, opt-ins, all that, because the marketing is very specific versus general to, and it's not, a lot of times it's not the distributor's fault because they're taught like, we got the best product in the world, so people should buy. Just because it's good, you should buy. But I was telling people, if you go out on the street right now, you can't give away stuff. Like, people won't just take it. Like, if you go out on the street right now and you try to just give this away, they won't take it because there's no trust. There's no motivation there. So when you're speaking directly to that source of pain, then people say, wow, okay, this guy knows I need $500 in the next 30 days. Let me at least see what he's talking about. Wow.
That is some crazy copy. Like, you don't even know what I'm about to do with that, but yeah. Wow, that's crazy copy. That really is. Because you know what I was thinking though? How does that work on a webinar? Because and the reason why I thought webinar was because I know webinars, if you ever notice the process, the person before they even really get into the information, they talk about their backstory, they talk about where they came from, how hard it was, that it wasn't always like this. And they paint that picture of all the problems in the world possible you can think of. They've been through it. And this is how they are now. And I think just, people being on for like an hour and they're persuaded, like, look, if it's $1,000, dude, I don't care. I'm going to get it. And so what I realized when people, especially when they're doing like high ticket stuff on webinars, they're like selling their stuff. And you're like, man, how is it that they're making all this money? And you're trying to like, is this some magic pill? And if like you're trying to do the same thing they're doing because they're closing their people on webinars, right? It's going to be different. But you, with the type of copy you're using, it's like you don't even have to take your people on webinars.
No, I use this. And the people think this sounds funny. I have literally closed over $150,000 just on the Facebook chat. Like, I don't talk to the person. I don't get on the phone with them because I understand like what I'm telling you right now. Webinars, cold traffic. All right. My highest webinar, I've done $21,000 in 1 hour with cold traffic. All right. And that was strictly based on, and it was only, I think it was like 5 clients we did. It was like $4,000 a ticket or something like that. But they didn't know me from Adam. Like they never met me before, never saw me, nothing. But I know how to write webinars in a way that it's not so like I'm the type of person when I do webinars, I don't spend too much time on me. Like, oh, I struggled in 1945 and I was dying and this and that. And then I found the pill and this happened and then my dog got saved. And I don't get into all that because I know basic psychology. That person's on a webinar because they're trying to escape something. So what I can do on a webinar and kind of what my mindset is, when the person comes on a webinar, they're going to leave better. Even if they don't buy nothing, they're going to leave better off than when they got here. Now, through that value and through other ways to position offers, I can persuade them that I'm a person that they need to get in touch with or that they need to work with, right? So a simple like the webinar we did that 20,000 on, the format was really simple. We came on, we introduced ourselves for like 5 minutes, and then we always break everything down into steps. So we gave like the 7 steps to X, Y, and Z, or the 4 steps to this, or the 7 steps to that, or whatever. Then basically after that, after we get the steps, we transition to the offer, right? And so what we do is we basically say like, look, we gave you the mindset and we gave you the tactics for how to do it, but the strategy is what you need to actually implement this and make it work. And then we appealed to this idea of being out in the wilderness alone, trying to figure out all these things, or just let us hand you the keys. All you gotta do is get in the car and drive it. And then that makes it's a lot. So sales is always, it's an emotional decision, but it's a logical like purchase. It's like I move on emotion, but I'm doing this because logically, yeah, that makes sense. Why would I want to be out in the wilderness when I can just work with this guy who can show me how to do it? So then from there, what we do is we now start to inject inspiration into them. Mm-hmm. And we start to weed out the people who are going to be the tire kickers, you know? So we'll say stuff like, listen, now's the time for you to get off the bench, get in the game, you know, and really start to build your legacy and this and that and all those kind of things. And here's how we're going to show you how to do that. And then we introduce the program, and then we give the bullets, blah, blah, blah. And then the thing that gets people to rush to buy, and you can use this to get people to join your company, products, whatever. You give offer intensifiers. So a lot of people do webinars and they just try to sell like this mouse. But imagine if you already kind of wanted to buy this mouse because you're still on the webinar, everything made sense, the value came. But then I said, on top of that, with this mouse, I'm going to give you this $2,000 video camera. So you're going to pay, you know, $4,000 for this mouse, but I'm going to give you a $20,000 video camera if you're one of the first 4 people to join. And what that does is it literally gets people rushing to buy whatever it is that you're buying, because what we found is that people buy just for the bonuses, right? You watch infomercials, like in the next 30 seconds, if you buy this, we're going to throw in one more for free. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. So when you're doing webinars, if you just use those elements, you can sell 10,000, you can sell whatever, and people will buy.
You know what? And I've seen, I think James Starr talk on this, where it's like different things you can use to actually close, like basically coming up with an impromptu offer. Mm-hmm. So like you can give away coaching or whatever it is, because like people value time. Believe it or not, you're like, okay, how do I throw an offer together? But people value time. So if you offer strategies like, okay, next 10 people, what I notice is this. Mm-hmm. What really works well on webinars, just looking at how people are. Everyone really pay attention right here. So everyone is looking up, right? Do it yourself stuff. Mm-hmm. But what they really, really, really want is done for them.
Yeah.
That's what they want. They want done for you. Because let me tell you, like it's like looking at YouTube SEO, like James Wedmore, right? So you look at like all those steps. Like I know I've looked at all those steps, and I'm like, look, bro,
Right.
I'm not finna do all that. I'm just gonna get on a hangout, and I don't want to do all that to rank no video. Like, and then he'll do the offer, like, hey, if you don't want to do all of this, which is why people pay him, right? Little companies will pay him, local companies will pay him, and he's like, I will do it for you. Because it's a pain that they have, because they've seen all the work. They're like, look, I got a job, and I got to work my business, and I got to spend time doing this and look up the stuff too. So what you'll find is listen, so that's the difference between selling a, let's say, JV Zoo product, right? Because it's like, it's a whole bunch of information, but you still have to go through the information and implement it yourself. But if you start creating services and packages where it's like hands-free, because you got to understand people's mindset, right? They want to get paid more and they want to do less work. That's the truth. So you'll find that when people are doing like these big time leaders, and you find like, oh, how they made like thousands of dollars in like an hour, right? It's because they do a lot of those packages where now they're not talking to everybody. They're talking to the person that's qualified because they have the money to pay for it, and the pain level is really high. And this person, let's say, is in the industry, because I have an article that's not even published yet, but I wrote on this because you have to understand that when you are talking to people, you have different types of avatars, right? You have the avatar that's like a freebie seeker, right? They're going to opt into everything. They're not buying, they opt in, right? They may take you up on the $7 offer though, because it's low cost, right? Then you have the person that maybe they can't afford something that's $500, right? But they'll buy something that's $100. They'll look, it's not really done for you, so they kind of try it, right?
Right. Then
you have that person that's like, look, I don't want to waste no time. I'd rather you do it for me. Look, I don't care if it's 1,000 and up, I'm going to pay it. And those are the type of people that you're going to be marketing to. And so you want to talk to those type of people in your business.
Yeah. No, that's real talk. And it's like a lot of people come into the industry and they want to, everybody thinks like, I want to make $10,000 a month. Like that's like, if I make $10,000 a month, man, I'm winning, right? But what they don't realize, for one, and well, I'm not gonna say that's not a lot of money, but it's not that hard. It's really not that hard once you have the right perspective on how to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, this is funny even thinking about it. When I first came in, I was like, all right, you know what? This guru over here or this person in the company, they're making like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. I'm going to do what they do, and I'm going to make this money. And we all know that don't work, right? So what changed for
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what? You know what? It's very hard to fathom that in someone's mind when they haven't hit past that plateau. And then that's just real talk, right? Because in their head, they're down. But literally, me and Brandon, we witnessed it, right? Like what? Yeah, we witnessed it. So this guy that we work with, we're in his mastermind, and he just made his first $10,000 month in a couple of days. Days, he hit 10,000 in days. Like how new? Month in, first week, how new? What? Dude, stop playing around. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. hold up. You charge somebody $10,000 for a capture page? Yeah, I see you, Jay. I see you, Jay. Listen, let me tell you something. This is real talk. So I was on a webinar, actually, because I used to be an MLSP, right? And I used to do pages for people, right? So like one of my clients, I was doing it on WordPress. And I had another client that I was like, okay, so I'm thinking I'm making back. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make some money. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna charge them, $100 for the actual work. And then I was going to do what you call it? I was going to do I was getting paid from the company, right? For them using the actual service, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm getting paid twice. So I get on this webinar. And this guy was literally charging, like, this was on his sale price, right? $5.95 for a capture page. And I was like, what? For a funnel sales funnel? I'm like, dude, I'm so undercharged. Like, it's like your mind is not expanded to the point because you don't even know it's possible. You don't, until you see somebody else doing, you're like, man, that's crazy. Like, I'll never pay that price, but somebody will. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Woo! Mm. Mm. Wow. Wow. I mean, so basically, you're really looking at it from a perspective of you're really selling the outcome, one, something that they really desire. Mm. Mm. Wow. Wow. But you know what? Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Okay, hold up. And for y'all who's on in disbelief, I'm telling you, if you ever really check his Facebook, if you are not, go ahead and put in the side so they can link up with you on Facebook, right? You really, really got to, yes, because his stuff be like unbelievable. I understand. I understand what you're talking about. Wow. Wow. I listen. I'm so glad, dude. I met you and we connect. Like we've actually had calls. Like, wow, this is crazy. I'm serious. Because you know what, guys, I was just like, look, I'm just gonna throw it together impromptu, and I was like, I just threw that. Like, I was literally just hitting everybody up. If they was online, I was hitting them up. I'm like, I don't even care. You know, they could say no, but I was like, this. And then when he said yes, I was like, look, I got to pro that. If y'all got some value from this guy, if you did, go ahead, click on above his icon. Definitely follow him because I'm pretty sure he's going to be using this format again. Go ahead, follow him. Go ahead, you can follow me. Yeah, because I will be bringing on some more marketers because I just love it. I love talking marketing all the time. Brandon, you know. Guys, I got a webinar coming up pretty soon. I'm going to find out what's going on. Hey, Ed, thank you for joining, but we're about to wrap up. I don't even know how long we've been on here, but it's just like been massive value. Definitely, it's recording, so you guys will catch the replay, right? So it should be up pretty soon. Definitely, you want to go back and take some notes. Wow. This, thank you. But you know what? It's like let me tell you, the first time when I paid for high ticket coaching, right? And I got in, it was like, I'm gonna be honest, you know, I don't care. I'll mention the company. So I was in MLSP. And once my eyes got open, I was like, look, I don't even need this no more. Cause I was like, the amount of information that I had, I said, I know how to create lead magnets. I don't need somebody else. Like, I could do my own. And it's like such freedom because once you get to a point where you don't have to depend on a company, where you can have like your own income at will, it's like light bulb moment. Go ahead and create something right now. Offer your expertise. I'm telling you. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. I think the phone call is the strongest part right there, though. Yeah, yeah, because you know what? It's very unrealistic for people to believe that you can close high ticket without getting on the phone. Bro, you're trying to recruit everybody right now for your coaching. Wow. Thank you so much. Mind blowing. Wow. Phenomenal. Definitely phenomenal. Thank you so much. Like, for real. Just laid on him. For real. Hey, I am about to close out. I know you guys had a wonderful time. Thank you for joining me for this first jam session, even all the way from the Caribbean, you know what I mean? Bijan. Yeah, and it's crazy. I'm from Antigua, so it's like, I've been living in the States forever. You in Canada. I got a cousin out there in Canada, matter of fact. So it's like, yeah. Bobby the Liber, that's what he go by, the last name. But he got kids like all over. Most of my relatives, they're either from Antigua or like Saint Kitts and Nevis. Yeah, Kittishan. Yeah, man. But guys, I appreciate your time. Like, I don't know, that was like $10,000 coaching, because that was like, wow, eye opener. Yeah, wow. But I will not take up any more of your time, guys. Thank you for just being on here. I'm out. Peace.